Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone, and welcome to your #1 source for Native American television news, Native News Today. I'm your host, Jason Salzman. Want to welcome you all to this week's program. Feel like we've got a great show lined up for you as we move closer and closer to festival weekend here at the Muskogee Creek Nation. So glad that you're joining us to where we can let you know about all these things coming up and also keep you up to date with some national headlines that are really making waves around Indian country this week. President Obama making a visit to the reservation, and also a big decision from the U.S. Patent Board coming down against the professional football team in Washington. We all know who they are, and so that's affecting Indian country too. We'll speak with somebody today about that. We'll talk with one of our Creek citizens, one of our Creek women that's up for state senate. All that and lots more right here on Native News Today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this first commercial break.
For 3 years, kids have been asking their parents, what is that hill on the river going to be? What answer did you give?
Did you tell them that someday that half-finished structure will be one of America's most important attractions, bringing visitors from around the country and the world to Oklahoma?
Along with hundreds of millions of dollars into our economy.
There'll be state-of-the-art interactive displays that bring to life the stories, history, and culture of the 39 tribes that share this state.
A 210-acre landscape park and trail system. Beautiful retail and business space.
This will be another jewel in the crown of our state's tourism industry, and it will pay eternal tribute to the origin of our great state.
It's not a matter of whether we can afford to complete it. We simply can't afford not to. For the current generation of Oklahomans and the generations to come, let's finish it.
Let's finish it.
Let's finish it!
Pumunakadat nak aza gidomen, ajai jahaniat, omen ibuwakidos.
Daniels in Ogitskish, Bonshongi Benoat, Bomio, Boshomizatlish.
Momesh, Harishongigo imongin, Hobidagi ani omaga, Bomaha hoye imongin oma Bonshomegigosh. For more information about Muskogee language preservation, please call us at 918-732-7724.
And welcome back to Native News Today. Your host Jason Salzman as we get started with the show. And now we have a special guest I want to bring in via Skype, and she comes to us all the way from Lawrence, Kansas, the media communications coordinator and also faculty member up there at Haskell Indian Nations University, plus a 3-term president of the Native American Journalists Association. I'm talking about Miss Rhonda Lavaldo. Rhonda, thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem.
Well, talk a little bit about the reason we wanted to have you on is because this week, just the firestorm hitting, and definitely have to talk about the landmark decision today with the patent board basically saying, Washington Redskins, we don't agree with what you're doing, along with the Indian country and lots of people in America, by taking that patent and saying basically you don't have rights to that name anymore. Talk about what this is for Indian country and what a big day it is, just because what it says about what the rest of the country is feeling towards Native Americans.
Well, basically that patent is saying that they can't really accept it because it's a disparaging term to use against a certain people, which is Native people. So they're telling them they can't use that, they can't patent it. Unfortunately, though, it's just it's an obstacle I think they feel they can overcome because they have overcome this obstacle before.
Right.
They've actually lost the same appeal a few years ago, and they appealed it to the federal court, and federal courts overturned it. So then this is the second time that Native people have gone against it, filed a lawsuit, and done it again. Well, the Washington Redskins are basically going to do it again. They're going to appeal this decision. But the one great thing, though, is it's saying to a greater audience that we haven't heard this before because we didn't have social media. We didn't have Facebook a few years ago back where, people really didn't know about the first lawsuit. So it's getting out there. It's gaining momentum. You're seeing this. It was trending this morning on Twitter across the United States. And it's funny because, so many people are just realizing, oh my gosh, there's so many people who are opposed to this name. Right. And the other thing, though, is people are becoming educated about what it really means and how is it disparaging, and the facts of the case that this team wasn't named to honor Native people. It wasn't. All the things they have said to back up keeping the name are falling apart.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people have recognized that. And I think you bring up such a great point, Rhonda, about where we are now media-wise and the way we can disseminate information to different peoples. And really, as you said, it's not only a chance to share information with our tribal nations about what our tribal nations are doing. That's what we're supposed to do here at places like Muskogee Media, Vision Maker Media, Haskell Indian Nations University. We're supposed to give out information about what our Native people are doing. But at the same time, there is a wider audience on these social media outlets. There are non-Indians. There are people out there that are also minorities that aren't Indians that have that same feeling of struggle. And I think it's an education opportunity, just like you said, because now, just because, this has happened one time before, now it's almost like there are more people behind us. Do you kind of get that feeling too?
Oh, definitely. Again, it's just not Native people that are fighting against this term. It's, non-natives, different ethnic cultures, even Caucasian people that are opposed to the term, and they're, banding together with us. And you see this on Twitter. Like, I was tweeting about it, and I'm finding new followers, people who were responding to me and saying that, they're opposed to it. Yeah. And for all the reasons that they have been told have been falsehoods. And so I think the great part about this is educating a group of people and teaching them the right history that they haven't been taught in American history. And I think we're starting to see that. People are starting to realize that they haven't been taught the real history of this country.
Yeah, and you look at the Redskins organization, I think that they've come out with sort of these save face things where they come out with this educational thing not too long ago, and really they haven't done anything else as far as saying anything about the name that it's can be considered disrespectful, maybe things like that, or offensive. It's always been about we're honoring them, and that's just kind of, I've always kind of thought that was really backwards, and a lot of people that I've talked to. Because we've, you know as well with Naja, we've been dealing with this mascot issue for several years now. It's always seemed like something that just kind of, we're pecking away at it until hopefully we can get this big boom. And, I think that these are just steps. Because it's made such national news, I think we're getting closer. Do you agree?
I definitely agree. Suzanne Harjo, she has done a tremendous job fighting this fight. Mm-hmm. And it's, she started off as a journalist as well. And it's amazing to see where it's at right now. And it's great to see, especially, again, like on Twitter, I saw somebody post, "I will see a change in my lifetime." Yeah. And I was just surprised that somebody, it's good that we see that. Yes. And I was asked by another person, am I surprised that we're still face this type of racism and stereotyping in this day and age? No, I'm not surprised, because we've been dealing with this for a very long time. And so I would appreciate a time where our children don't have to face this type of stereotyping in their face, or they don't have to see people dressing up like Indians for Halloween. And that'll be a great time.
It certainly will.
Right now, so it's going to be good.
Yeah, it certainly will, and I think you're right. We're moving in the right direction. It's great to see, and as you know as well as I do from the people that we surround ourselves with, Indian people are so concerned with the future generations and those that will come after us and what we leave for them. The kind of work we're doing now, the awareness we're putting out there, that kind of motivation is in the back of our minds, certainly, whenever we put issues out there like this at the forefront. And it's so nice to see it making national headlines, too, because of that very reason. Rhonda, I want to thank you so much for giving us a quick few moments of your day. I know it was short notice, but we definitely wanted to talk with you, being ahead of a national Native organization such as NAJA, and, you know, where we're seeing a lot more coverage of Native American stories the way they should be covered, and that's very pleasing. So we'll see you here in a few weeks out in Santa Clara, beautiful Santa Clara, California, for the NAJA conference. Looking forward to that. And Rhonda, thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem. It was great.
All right. Rhonda Lavaldo there at Haskell Indian Nations University, a former 3-term president of the Native American Journalists Association, giving us some thoughts on the big announcement today with the patent of the Washington Redskins, or as we like to say around here in Indian country, that football team in Washington. And so we want to throw it to a break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to catch the rest of Native News Today.
We believe if you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. We believe that transitioning convicted citizens back into our communities enhances public safety. We believe that every citizen, even ex-prisoners, are important and are capable of change. We believe in reclaiming our citizens and investing them back into a culture that embraces healing and restoration.
We believe
in reintegration.
We are thinkers and readers.
We are dreamers.
We are doers and sharers.
To honor all things that make our Muskogee Creek Nation strong, we present you with the opportunity to expand your literature and the literature of our children.
Log on to MyOn to read books in English and Muskogee. We are Muskogee Nation, and we are readers.
Okay, and thanks again to Rhonda Lavaldo there at Haskell Indian Nations University, sharing some of her insight with us on this big news happening today. Also, big news coming up next week. Get out to the polls. We have a Muskogee Creek citizen, a Muskogee Creek woman, up for the District 8 Oklahoma State Senate seat. It is former National Councilman Miss Selina Jayne Dornan, and also the current mayor of the city of Eufaula, my hometown. And I visited with her at the College of Muskogee Nation about this big day she has coming up. Selina, you know, you were the first woman to represent your district in the Muskogee Creek Nation National Council level, the first mayor, female mayor of the city of Eufaula. What makes you want to be the first woman to hold the District 8 seat on the Oklahoma Senate?
Well, it's not about breaking records, but it's more about helping the people.
Yeah.
I just think, you know, when I ran for National Council, it was because before that I worked in the executive director's office, and I saw citizens come in all the time, you know, with problems, with questions, with concerns, and they needed help. And so that's what kind of got me to run for National Council, because I thought I would be in a better place to help them, because I saw so much need. And then from that point, you know, I ran for mayor because I saw that same need within my city, and of course within my city we had our, you know, our Indian community and many of our a large population of Creek citizens there, and so I was able to help, you know, the city of Eufaula and our citizens, and now I think I'm just ready to go to that next level.
Right.
I just feel like I can help more people and do more.
Right.
You know, from this level.
I think too, you know, you take a little bit from each stop along the way. Of course, you took some of your experiences from the executive director's office, put it towards national council service. Took some of that national council experience, definitely put it to work being the mayor of Eufaula. What are some of the things, and it's neat having you on the show because I'm from Eufaula, of course, and knowing the things that you've done as the mayor there, but what are some of the things as mayor of Eufaula you think that you've learned that are probably going to help you in this race and in further public life as you go on?
Well, probably the most important thing is just how hard it is for small municipalities and rural areas to get things done within their districts or their cities, you know, that they need. Our state, in our city, the city of Eufaula is very old. You know, our infrastructure is very aged, and as you know, municipalities, they depend strictly on sales tax. You know, we don't get a piece of the property tax that people pay on their property, and so we depend highly on retail. And but that doesn't go very far, you know, and so we are always struggling, you know, to find ways to take care of our roads, the sewer lines, the water lines, the sewer plant. I just recently did a huge $4 million renovation to our sewer plant in Eufaula because we were at capacity. So we had to find a way to do that, and you know, we got a Oklahoma Water Resource Board loan to take care of that, but which is, you know, a low interest loan. But we still have to pay that back, so we still depend on retail, you know, our retail to help us do that. But I think just knowing the struggles that small towns have, from the people to the roads to the schools, to, you know, so, and I think that knowing that will help me know and help, you know what to do to help more people.
Exactly, because that's the small towns, the rural areas that have to come to the state senators, that have to come to a legislative body on a state level, and certainly having that experience definitely helps. So coming up this next Tuesday, June 24th, it's very close, but I'm sure a part of you is very anxious and excited, of course, but there's probably a small part of you also that's ready for the campaign to be over and kind of relax and go back to normal.
Well, I think the most difficult part about it has been juggling the two things. You know, the type of mayor that I am, our form of government is the aldermanic form of government in Eufaula, which means I am the CEO, I am the city manager. So I run the city and I do everything that a city manager would do for most municipalities. For instance, here in Okmulgee, they have a city manager, and then a mayor. So in a lot of places, you know, the mayor is just simply a ceremonial. So, you know, if each municipality may be different. But so that's a full-time job. I mean, it's a 24/7 job for me. So finding that time to, you know, to do the campaigning, which is real important because I want to meet people. And the one thing, campaigning is hard, but the one thing I love about it is I love getting out there and meeting the people. You know, you learn so much, and you get to find out about their concerns. You know, maybe things you didn't even think about or that we just take for granted. So it's really helped, I think, to expand my feelings and thoughts about things that I want to look at, you know, when I get into Senate.
Absolutely. And another thing too is going out there and meeting the people, knocking on the doors. It's not like it's foreign territory. You know, District 8, not only your home, but Muskogee Creek Nation home. I mean, talk about the boundaries of the tribe too, and, you know, just your pride in having the nation behind you, things like that. It's got to be very special for you.
It is, yeah. My district covers a huge part of Muskogee Creek Nation boundaries, and so I'm meeting some of our citizens, but also my district's huge. I mean, District 8 is huge. It goes all the way from Okfuskee County all the way over to Webbers Fall on the other end.
A lot of concerns to look after.
Yes, all of McIntosh and all of Okmulgee. So, but you know, I think our district is very rural. You know, we have a lot of farmers and a lot of you know, people that just take pride in their country and in Oklahoma. So,
a hard day's work, rolling up the sleeves.
Yes,
you definitely know about that. Well, as you said, City of Eufaula, the way that's set up, you don't just come in and call yourself the mayor, put on the hat. You got to go to work. So, and no doubt that will help you in this race, and certainly wish you all the best. I know that, like, as I said, coming to a close of you know, several months now of lots of hard work on your part and all the people that you're involved with. And you're probably very appreciative of your team too. You got a great team behind you.
I do. I've got a great team. They've been working really hard for me. Everything from making phone calls to just setting up my schedule. You know, because like I said, juggling the two things it takes a good, strong team. You know, to do that. And you know, I think I have a lot to offer. I think bringing my knowledge from being on the National Council and working with, you know, people that way, and learning the legislative process. You know, I mean, we're a government of our own here at Creek Nation, and you know, doing bills, making legislation, making laws. You know, I think that's all. It was the first step. And my relationships that I have formed at the City of Eufaula with the entities within our state, from the FFA to the DEQ to, you know, to the railroad. I mean, all those are going to really help me to to help other people.
Yeah, it's almost like a head start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
absolutely. Well, Tuesday, June 24th, I know you're very excited about the day, as well as all of us here, Native News Today. I want to thank you so much for stopping with us and talking about your campaign and everything, and really just your years of service. We certainly appreciate here at the Muskogee Creek Nation level. I know that the people of Eufaula do, and if everything goes right, the people of Oklahoma as well in District 8 there, Selina Jayne Dornan going for the state senate, and so glad that, as I said, you could stop off with us just for a few moments. We know you're a busy lady, but
well, not only the first woman
yes.
in Senate for this district, but the first Creek woman.
There you go.
Yes.
Absolutely, that's right. We gotta highlight our Creek women doing great things. This is certainly an example of that. Thank you so much, Selina.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And our thanks again there to a very, very busy lady, Miss Selina Jayne Dornan, stopping off with us for just a few minutes to share her passion about public service. And we certainly wish her all the best of luck this coming week, Tuesday, June 24th. So definitely make sure you get out there and let your voice be heard. We've been hearing a lot from our viewers here in the last couple weeks, and they're really loving our old archive footage that we've been showing. So this week, we wanted to show some more. And if you've ever wondered how to make those turtle shells that they shake at Stomp Grounds, this is a video for you.
The stomp dance has been an enduring part of ancient Creek ceremonial life longer than anyone remembers. For centuries, Creek men and women have gathered at their tribal towns to sing and dance all night after fasting and taking medicine during the day. In the summertime, the sounds of the stomp can still be heard in the night skies over Creek ceremonial grounds. The unifying sound, heard distinctly above the others, is the rhythmic rattle produced by turtle shells filled with pebbles, worn on the legs of some of the women as they dance around the fire. These women are called shell shakers. Though some dancers substitute tin cans in this unique form of musical percussion, turtle shells are traditional. Today, few are skilled in the tribal art of making turtle shells for the women. Out of necessity, Christine Hennahaw, a long-time shell shaker, taught herself this art 10 years ago.
When I'm going to make a set of turtles, I need 8 on one side and 8 on the other side, left and right leg. And so between 7:30 in the morning till about 9:30, I'll go out, and generally they're on the highway, biggest part of them you could find. And if I find one, I'll carry a box, not a cardboard box, but a plastic or tin bucket or anything, so they don't crawl out. If I found one, well, I'll put it in there and keep on going, say 7 miles to town. Some mornings, well, I'll find 2 or 3, sometimes 1, sometimes none. And every day I'll look that time of the morning, and when I find one, I may not clean it the day that I get it. I might just pile it up. Then I'll just start cleaning them. And there's some turtles that's got a stripe on its back. I don't get that kind because the Indians call it snake turtle, that it turns into snake. Never use that kind. So I don't get that kind. I get the one that's smooth, and then some have a little, look like flower designs on it. There's a certain way that you tell which is female and which is male. the female have a little flared skirt. I call it flary skirt. By looking at that, that's the female. And the male, he have a straight. He don't have no flary skirt, so that's a male. Right here I have a female and a male. Now, as you notice, I use the white leather, which we get this in a ball of leather from Tandy's Leather Shop, wherever they have a Tandy store. And you could notice on the inside where these white are, that's where I cut it and tied it down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places that I tied it down. And I start with 6 on the bottom. I put the 6 on the bottom first, and when I get them tight, I shake it to see if these aren't moving. They have to be down solid. And I pull them tight, and I kind of dampen this leather where it would get tight after it gets dry. So I put the 6 on there first, and I shake it, and if it seems to be tight, then I take the 2 and put them on, and as you could see underneath how it come through from the bottom to through to the top. I got this one marked from dancing so many times that the musical sound, I've got a little X in there that would go in towards a fire, because your musical sound is towards a fire, which is on your left, because the dance go one way all the time. And I shake it to see if I got it on tight enough where it don't slide down, because it's going to be an all-night dance.
Okay, and that will put the wrap on another episode of Native News Today, episode number 415. We're so excited and so happy that you've been with us through most of those, and if you've just been watching and just caught on the last few weeks, we hope that you'll stay with us in the coming weeks, months, and years here on Native News Today, because we feel like we're putting out a great product, and we want you to know, be educated, and be informed about what's going on in Indian country in Oklahoma and around the country. If you can't catch us here on CW19, you can always catch our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/nativenewscw19. Also at Native News Guys on Twitter. For Jared Moore, Tyler Roberts, all of us that make the show happen each week, you all have a great one, and we'll see you next Saturday.